Think about your favorite piece of furniture in your home and why. Some like it simply because of the way it looks or feels, but for most of us, it also represents special memories. Take a close look at this 1960s Mid-Century Modern Credenza, and you'll see many signs of normal wear and tear, requiring satisfying paint removal and intricate veneer repairs. Once refinished, you won't believe this dramatic transformation. This American Mid-Century Walnut Credenza, or buffet, is from the Dania Line, designed by Merton Gershun for American of Martinsville. It was manufactured in Martinsville, Virginia, and I passed through Martinsville recently. I found the racetrack, but didn't even know where to begin looking for the old furniture factory. I did, however, find what's left of the old Lane Furniture Factory not far from there in Alta Vista. For most refinishing projects, I simply spray on the finish remover, let it sit for at least 30 minutes, then apply more finish remover just before scraping. I've owned 3 of these exact credenzas, so I can confirm that the interior drawer fronts were painted from the factory. The drawers on the other pieces I worked on were a pure white color, whereas these are certainly an off-white color. My guess is this furniture was in the home of a smoker for many years. Although there is no obvious odor, I'll still refinish or at least clean every square inch of this credenza. In a world littered with cheap MDF furniture, you don't need to be a professional to recognize the signs of quality furniture. Take these solid brass door handles, for example, often replaced today by cheap pot metal, either plated or painted. As is with most vintage furniture from the mid-century era, you'll still find that most of these pieces were covered with a thin layer of veneer, walnut veneer in this case, and although mass-produced, the quality is still exceptional. Restoring and refinishing any piece of furniture may take days or even weeks, so labeling all these separate parts will certainly save you time during reassembly. Upon further inspection of any factory furniture, it's common to find overspray and other imperfections. Our eyes are often drawn to stark contrasts, and what sets this piece apart from many others is the solid brass accent trim around the base. I considered leaving these in place, but they are covered in a thick protective layer of lacquer and have lost their luster. A quick polish will not be sufficient. Also, I need to refinish every part of this solid walnut base. I'll use a few carbide scrapers to carefully remove the original finish from the walnut edge banding around the front of the credenza. The veneer damage on this inside drawer is too small to repair with veneer, so I'll use wood filler. Today it feels like minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and the insulated workshop is around 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's typical during the winter months here in Wisconsin, but obviously not ideal for furniture refinishing. I use a kerosene heater to preheat the shop space to around 65 degrees. Then throughout the day I can maintain temperatures in the 60s with this Dreo space heater. Dreo is the #1 heater brand, and I've been using their heaters and cooling fans throughout my home and workshop for several months. Since purchasing my home more than 7 years ago, I've enjoyed the process of carefully choosing the right furniture and appliances that make my house feel more like a home. I especially like the modern style of this Solaris 718 model, and I use it mostly in my home office space. It has customizable oscillation and a 2-second instant warm-up mode. Other features include 2 times the heat volume and wider warmth coverage for larger spaces, a brushless motor for quiet, restful nights, multi-layer protection including a child safety lock and overheat protection, temp ranges from 41 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, an eco mode, as well as 5 heat levels and 3 fan levels. This was a great option for creating a smart home office space, and here in my living area, this heater has helped provide comfort and warmth in this larger space during the winter months. My favorite feature is this easy-to-use remote that's also included. A Dreo smart heater is a great gift for the holidays, or if you're considering one for yourself, it may enhance the comfort of your cozy space as your family gathers for the holidays. Dreo is the #1 space heater brand, so check out the link in the video description for more. You can enjoy a 21% discount on all the products on the Dreo website by using my code MADCITY. Thank you, Dreo, for sponsoring this video. To be most efficient during the sanding process, I'll lay out all of the tools that I expect to use: the sheet sander, hand sanding blocks, profile sanders, sponge pads with the Surf Prep 3x4 sander, as well as other palm sanders. I'll do my best to list these products in the video description. This damage to the front of the credenza was the most concerning. The dent is deep, but I'll do my best to iron it out, keeping track of my progress as I work. Using a traditional iron on medium to high heat, along with a little water and a shop rag, should help lift the wood fibers that have been compressed. It's best to use a white rag to avoid staining the area with colored dyes. I'll pass over the damaged area for no more than 5 to 10 seconds at a time, checking my progress in between. I'll continue these steps for about 30 minutes. I was pleasantly surprised at how well this method worked. Even the interior drawers of this piece were built well, but I suspect the front veneer was painted from the factory because the cheaper wood species lacks much character. I'll sand these gently and still attempt to stain them, then blend several layers of toner to conceal the repairs. This is an iconic piece of American furniture, and I want it to last a long time, so I'll sand, or at least clean, every part of this credenza. As for the large exterior drawers, these louvered drawer fronts are some of the many components that make this vintage piece of furniture a better build quality altogether. The drawer fronts are solid walnut, and I suspect that this was the only option for a design with adequate slots underneath for your fingers. Besides the dovetail joinery, another great feature that shouldn't be overlooked is the use of metal for track sliders. The tracks are wood, but still in great condition overall. Over the years, I would imagine this has certainly helped prevent shifting, warping, and overall normal wear and tear that might develop with traditional wood tracks and sliders. Since these fronts are solid walnut, I don't need to worry as much about damaging any thin layer of veneer while sanding. I'll only sand the body of this dresser to 150 grit, and I'll discuss that in detail when I apply the finish. For now, I'll use a few sanding blocks and a sanding sponge for the hard-to-reach areas. As I did with the interior drawers, I'll inspect and gently sand any sharp edges on the entire drawer. There were some areas to sand, but the inside of these drawers were in overall great condition. The screws for the slides were loose because the holes were stripped out. A good solution is to break off the ends of toothpicks or skewers. Adding too much may cause stress to the sides of the drawers, and in worst case scenario, crack the drawers altogether. So it's best to start with a little at a time until the screws are tight once again. My plan is to give this walnut a rich, natural finish, so as I strip back all the old finishes, I must be okay with the contrast and so-called imperfections beneath. Every now and then, I feel a responsibility to use this platform to give credit to others I've learned from. I often focus on the history and the stories of pieces more than the step-by-step techniques for refinishing. But if you're someone who's looking to learn every step of the furniture refinishing process, I would highly recommend this new 240-page book by Aaron Moore, Revive and Refine. With over 20 years of experience, Aaron offers a step-by-step guide to mastering the art of furniture restoration and refinishing, paired with hundreds of detailed illustrations. In his book, he also shares details about the highs and lows of running a small furniture refinishing business. When I received my copy, I read the entire book front to back in just 2 nights. With my first project, this book already paid for itself, saving me from hours of additional work and critical mistakes. On his website, Aaron is also adding a complete video course covering every chapter of his refinishing book. This is not a sponsored placement. I consider Aaron a friend in the furniture space. You can check out his website, reviveandrefine.com, and I'll link his book in the video description below. You can use my code to get free shipping on your order, and if you just want to see more of his museum quality restorations, check out Moore's Refinishing on Instagram. Some may feel that my videos are full of product placements, but most of you understand that I genuinely enjoy sharing what I've learned and hope that in some way it helps you with your own projects. There are several profiles to sand on the base of this credenza, and this is where the sponge-like pads on the Surf Prep 3x4 sander excel. When removing all the old finishes, it's not uncommon to find natural imperfections as well as imperfections from the milling process. I'll add some color to help blend these interior drawers with the rest of the interior, then protect them with a satin finish. I'll gently sand the areas where there will be friction, then add Howard's feed and wax. If you have a piece of furniture that needs a little refresh, but you don't want to do a full restoration, as long as the protective finishes are fully intact, you can apply some of this restore finish with some fine steel wool, then wipe it back with a shop rag. Since I removed some of the factory overspray, I need to add some color to these areas that will be exposed once the drawers are installed. I'll apply several coats of Mohawk's vinyl sealer, then add color with the toner, followed by several coats of a protective satin finish. After removing the tape, there will be some small imperfections that need fine detailing. To give this walnut a rich, natural look, I'll apply Rubio Monocoat's hard wax oil. It's a two-part eco-friendly, food-safe finish that includes the oil and the accelerator. As directed, I'll mix 3 parts oil with 1 part accelerator. The amount seen here will be enough to cover the entire piece. It's one of the easiest and most satisfying finishes to apply. You simply spread it on with a spatula for the larger areas or a non-abrasive pad for the detailed areas, then buff off the excess with a shop rag. I chose to do this inside the house so that the credenza would be at room temperature for this application. For the final step, I need to polish this solid brass. It's protected with a thick layer of lacquer, so I'll need to use the benchtop wire wheel and buffer. If not protected, the brass will tarnish quickly, so I'll add 3 coats of lacquer for brass. I want to leave you with these thoughts. It's obvious that for centuries, furniture makers and designers had a great appreciation for the finer, more desirable wood species like teak, walnut, oak, and many others. Sure, we live in a world where the idea of painting old furniture enhances the modern appeal of such pieces, and sometimes it actually does. But for so many people, the natural beauty and contrast of the unique wood grain patterns still prevails. For mass production, finishing furniture with layers of colored lacquer is a necessity to ensure durability and longevity of pieces used daily in homes across the world. By applying a relatively new finish, a hard wax oil, not only will this piece continue to be protected, but it now stands out among the rest, showcasing the deep, rich, natural beauty of the unique grain patterns. Is it the right choice, or does it devalue such a piece? Opinions will certainly vary. I have more than 20 hours into this project, and it's been nothing short of a labor of love. And when the work is finished, I have a newfound respect for the vision of the original designer. Be sure to check the video description for more. My name is Barry, and thanks for joining me. Goodbye for now.